Guess who decided to join us? The Pearl. The one and only Pearl. She's sitting in my lap. So, hey y'all, what's up? Long time no see. It is currently October 30th. I haven't filmed a video like all month because I've been very, very busy. But today we are here to talk about my September and my October wrap up. I do want to preface this that I'm not going to be including stats in this video just because I don't feel like it. There's too many books to talk about for me to also go over stats. So without further ado, we're just going to get right on into the video. I have the story graph here. I always have my social medias linked in the description. I have Instagram, Threads, TikTok, the story graph, and Goodreads, so follow me or friend me on any of those and you can see what I'm up to, what I'm currently reading. But the first book that I finished in September was Witchy Volume 1. I read this book in the very beginning of September. Finished it in a day. It was pretty good. I gave it 4 stars. It's about our main character, Ninev. She has like a fantasy name that I don't know how to pronounce, but she lives in a world where magic exists, and basically the longer your hair is, the more powerful your magic is and the more magic you have and stuff like that. And so she's in high school, she's about to graduate, and before they graduate they have to do this conscription test or exam or something like that to see if they will join like the world's military essentially. And she doesn't want to do that. She doesn't want to join the military. She goes through this test kind of like under the radar. She doesn't excel per se, but she also isn't like the worst, but she kind of gets singled out and gets chosen to be a part of the army basically. And this spurs a chain of events of her cutting off her hair, which is a form of heresy in this world, and running away. She has super, super long hair and she's been hiding it the entire time she's been in school, just period, because she wanted to protect herself. She's not very good at wielding her magic, but she does have a lot of magic. She goes on the run basically. We're finding out that there's this whole resistance movement against the crown, and she's like, should I get involved? Like, I don't know. It's pretty interesting. There's a lot of like political machinations and whatever for a graphic novel. It's very interesting. I really liked it, but it didn't give me that 5-star feeling that a lot of graphic novels give me, so I gave it 4 stars. The next book that I read was actually on my Kindle. I read Fall Into You by Caroline Frank. This book is about our 2 main characters. I'm forgetting their names because I read this so long ago. So the main character and her family are all Italian, and basically she falls for her brother's best friend, and it's very fall, very autumn vibes, very cutesy. I liked it, but I also did not like the third act conflict, as well as a trope is used in this that I really don't like. So I ultimately gave it 3.25 stars. It was a fun time for like the first half of it. I was having a really great time. I was getting all the fall vibes that I wanted. And I was like, oh, this could be a 4 or a 5 depending on how it ends. And then the way it ended put it to a 3.25. Kind of disappointing. Next, I read an essay actually. This is We Should All Be Feminists by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. This is just their like very well-known essay that they wrote. This essay is also adapted into a TED Talk or something like that. So you can watch this author like say this essay, speak it, you know, to an audience if you'd like. But I read the ebook version of We Should All Be Feminists and it was pretty good. I really enjoyed what it had to say. It was only 50 pages and I gave it 5 stars. For being an essay that was written in 2014, I think it's still very relevant today. It's 10 years old, quite literally, and I really enjoyed it. The next book that I read was Hera by Jennifer Saint. I read this in a vlog that is coming, hopefully my next video, and I don't want to spoil my thoughts too much, but basically we are following the goddess Hera from the beginning of when the Olympians rose into power in ancient Greece up until their downfall, essentially. And it really reimagines like how modern day has affected ancient Greece. And I really liked the different relationships and the different dynamics between all the gods and goddesses. There's a lot that I didn't know, but also there's some that I did know already, and there are some plot points that are hit upon. If you've read some of Jennifer Saint's other books, you will see some familiar characters, which I thought was fun. The next book I read was Boy Parts by Eliza Clark. This book, we are following our main character, who is an artist, like a photographer, but she kind of is a horrible person. So we follow her as she slowly descends into madness, and this is very much like I'm angry at the world and stuff like that, and I just did not enjoy this book. I heard that this was one of those good for her books. It's not. In my opinion, it is not. It's just a dark look at this character's mind, and I gave it 2.5 stars, which I think is generous. The next book that I read is a book that I physically own. I did not read a lot of my physically owned books. The past 2 months, I read a lot of ebooks and just library books. So this is the first one that I own that I read in September. We're still in September. This is The Once and Future Witches by Alexi Harrow. I am filming a vlog for this book, but as you can see, I finished it already, and I don't want to spoil my thoughts, but I will just give you the synopsis. I'm going to read the back to you because I think it's a very good synopsis on the back. In 1893, there's no such thing as witches. There used to be in the wild, dark days before the burnings began, but now witching is nothing but tidy charms and nursery rhymes. If the modern woman wants any measure of power, she must find it at the ballot box. But when the Eastwood sisters, James Juniper, Agnes Amaranth, and Beatrice Belladonna, join the suffragists of New Salem, they begin to pursue the forgotten words and ways that might turn the women's movement into the witches' movement. Stalked by shadows and sickness, hunted by forces who will not suffer a witch to vote, and perhaps not even to live, the sisters will need to delve into the oldest magics, draw new alliances, and heal the bond between them if they want to survive. This book, oh my god. I'm just gonna say, you need to read this, especially in the fall time. This quite literally, let me just go to the first page because I'm pretty sure that it starts in the spring but then goes into the fall. It's amazing. It's amazing. I loved the vibes of this. Witchy, dark, mysterious, and it was amazing. The next book I read was also for the same vlog. This is the short story called The Six Deaths of the Saint by Alexi Harrow. I have one more book to read for this vlog, and if you didn't already guess what the vlog is about, it is a vlog taste testing Alexi Harrow's books. Okay? Short story is only 30 pages, but we are following a knight. And that's all I'm going to say, because I think you should go into this short story blind. Blind is bad. Like, you should not know anything going into this short story. I didn't know anything and I loved it. Spoiler alert. But I'm not going to tell you my rating. The next book that I read was Diavola by Jennifer Thorne. This book, we are following a family that goes on vacation in Italy. They decide to like Airbnb this like really nice house in Italy, and they soon, at least the main character soon realizes that the house is haunted. And we're following this very dysfunctional family as they try to continue on as if everything is normal, but all these dark, sinister things are happening in the house, and you're just like, what is going on? It is so good. I read this for a new release vlog that is going to be my next video that I post. So I'm not going to tell you my rating either, but I enjoyed it. The last book that I read in September is a graphic novel called Life of Melody, and this is by Marie Costa. This book is quite literally following our main character Melody, but Melody is not really like the star of the show. It's her parents. Her parents are two magic folk. They are different species. One is like fae and the other, or like a fairy. One is a fairy and the other is like a werewolf kind of. And we're following them as they come together to raise Melody. It's cute. It's a fun time. I gave it 5 stars because it was just really cute. And I didn't see anything wrong with it. The first book that I finished in October is Every Moment Since by Mary Beth Mayhew Wallen. This book is actually an advanced listener's copy that I received through NetGalley and Harper Muse, I believe. So thank you so much to NetGalley and for the publisher for letting me read this book. This book is also for that new release vlog. It's very fall vibes, that vlog, because of the books that I read. But this family that we're following actually had a son go missing in like the 1980s, like 1986 or something like that. And we're following 2 timelines. We're following the 1980 something timeline of the night that their son went missing, and we're piecing together what happened that night. And then we're also following 20 years later in 2006 when a new piece of evidence has been uncovered in the case, and it brings the family back together. So we're following multiple different POVs in the 2006 timeline, as well as we're following multiple different POVs in the 1980-ish timeline, piecing together how the night went down. And it's very interesting. I liked it. I recommend that you read it. I just wanted more from it. That's all I'll say about it, really. That's all you need to know. But yeah, the next book that I read in October was You Again by Kate Goldbeck. This is a very fall cover, but it takes place in the very end, around New Year's. And a lot of the story it takes place in New York. So we're basically following our 2 main characters, Ari and Josh, over several years, like 8 or so years, as they come in and out of each other's lives. And they keep meeting in odd situations until finally they decide to be friends with benefits, until that doesn't work, and then things escalate from there. This is a romance, and I really enjoyed this. I ended up giving this 4 stars. I wanted more from it. Ultimately, I really did enjoy it, but it didn't give me that 5-star feeling. And I'll leave it at that. The next book that I read in the month of October is I Who Have Never Known Men by Jacqueline Harpman. This book, we are following a woman and like her 39 other companions who are trapped in a bunker in like a huge cell. They all live together, and they have been held captive for the past like 20 years or so. Our main character is the youngest of the bunch, and she has been there all her life, so she doesn't remember what her life was like before she was captured, whereas the other women in the group are older than her, and they remember what life was like before they were captured and brought to this bunker. And so one day in the bunker, they escape, and it's kind of about their journey after escaping. It's very dark and bleak, so don't go into it thinking that this is a very hopeful book, a very happy book. It's not. It's very bleak. Ultimately, I gave it 3.25 stars. It was okay. I did enjoy it, but at the end, it just had me feeling like so depressed. I was just like, I cannot believe that that was the end of the book. So, not in a bad way, just like I was hoping for a fun time, and it was not a fun time. The next book that I read is Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas. I am slowly making my way through the Throne of Glass series. I have read Assassin's Blade so far, and this book, and one other book, which I'll talk to you about in a minute. This, we are following our main character, Selena Sardothian. And in this, we are kind of introduced to her as she gets picked up from the salt mines of Endovir, and she gets brought to be the prince's champion, and she has to compete to earn the title of the king's champion. But along the way, there's hijinks, there's shenanigans, there's a mysterious plot to kill off all the competing champions who are because there's like a ton of champions that are competing to be the king's champion, and Selena is one of them. She's the only female. But we get to know her a little bit, yada yada yada. It was a fun time. I gave it 4.25 stars. I cannot believe it took me so long to read this. The next book that I read was Pier Nessie by Susanna Clarke. This book was so good. I love this one so much. This is following our main character, Pier Nessie, who lives in a world where there are endless rooms and endless halls, and there are different levels to the house, or to the universe, because as far as Pier Nessie knows, that is the whole universe. But Pier Nessie soon finds out that there is someone in the house. They're looking for Pier Nessie, and Pier Nessie has lived his whole life thinking that it's only been him and one other person in the house. And now there's a third person, and he's slowly trying to figure out what they're doing there, what their goal is, what they want. And the twist, so good. So good. I gave this 5 stars. If you don't like plotless, meandering, just like vibing out to the atmosphere of the book, then this is not really the book for you. I thought Pier Nessie was hilarious, if I'm gonna be honest, which I feel like kind of offsets the tone. Like, a lot of people say that the tone of the book is very eerie, haunting, and yes, I get that, but also like some of the lines that Pier Nessie would just like say were so hilarious. Like, I just had to laugh. So it kind of like ruined the vibes, but I still loved it. The next book that I read was Witchy Volume 2. This is by Ariel Slamet Reyes, by the way. I don't know if I said that earlier. But this book was significantly shorter than the first book, and I think that it's a continuing series. Like, we're gonna continue seeing these characters, hopefully, because this book came out in 2022 and there hasn't been a new book yet. But we are following our same main character as she's on the run. That's all you really need to know. She meets a new friend and develops a new skill. That's all you really need to know. Next, I read Mooncakes by Suzanne Walker. This book is a cute little like mystery, spooky, Halloween-y romance, which I loved. I loved all those vibes. I gave this 4 stars. By the way, I gave Witchy Volume 2 4 stars as well. But yeah, as for Mooncakes, it was really cute. I really loved it. I didn't see anything necessarily wrong with it. It just didn't give me that 5-star feeling. So yeah. The next book that I read is Crown of Midnight by Sarah J. Maas. This is the next book in the Throne of Glass series. So now I am currently waiting for my hold for Heir of Fire, which is the third book in the series. But this book is still following Selena and our ragtag team of like crime fighting, not really crime fighting, but like our found family that we have. And I'm not going to say much else about this, but I gave this 4.25 stars as well. I just want to say, but the reveal that's on the last page of this book, I saw it coming, okay? I saw it coming. I was talking to my boyfriend about it, and I was like, I think this and this and this is going to happen. And he was just like, really? Okay, I don't know, because he's read the series before. And I was just like, I knew it. When I read that last page, I was like, I knew it. I predicted it. I'm never the one to predict something, because I'm the type of reader that is like just there for the vibes, and I'm not like in my head thinking what's going to happen next, what's going to happen next. Oh, I bet that this and this is going to happen. I'm not normally that type of reader, but with this, I was like, oh, this is what's going to happen. Like, I just knew it. And the final book that I read in the month of October, as it is October 30th, the day that I'm filming this, I don't see myself finishing another book. Anyways, the final book is Role Playing by Kathy Yardley. This book was so cute. We are following our main characters, Maggie and Aiden. They are both around like 48, 49 years old. So they're older main characters than a normal romance. And they meet playing video games, basically. Maggie joins the guild that Aiden runs, and so they play online together, and they start talking every day and stuff like that, getting to know each other, and then finally they meet up and they're like, ooh, you kind of cute. But it's definitely a slow burn. I really enjoyed this book. I thought it was so cute. I really love this book. It didn't give me that 5-star feeling because ultimately there were some characters in this that were super frustrating, which I get. It's the point. Like, that's the point, that they were super frustrating to deal with and they are not in the right. You know what I mean? But it was still frustrating to read, and it ruined the vibes. But anyways, that was like the main conflict, so I get it. So I gave this 4.5 stars. Upon reread, I think it would definitely be a 5-star. This book is just so cute. So cute. I love this. And yeah, I highly recommend that you read this book. All right, y'all. So these are some of the books that I read in the past 2 months. Sorry for such a late update of a video. You know what I mean? I've just been busy with life. But thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, like, comment down below, and subscribe to my channel if you aren't already. And if you don't know what to say, comment the little video game character. I'll have it like up here on the screen so you know what I'm talking about. The little purple guy that's like pixelated, that emoji. I want that. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye.